Yeah. It's already all right. Yeah, man. Just got done looking at that film, y'all. You know, uh, I'm gonna revisit a little bit of what we talked about though last night, but I got a couple pages full of notes, man. That's entirely different from what from what we originally talked about. We kind of got into specifics as far as like drives for a little bit, not really in depth though, but for the most part, man, we knew what it was. The game was pretty much, self-explanatory. It wouldn't, it wouldn't nothing to break down, like, when it came down to the Bucks game or what game? The Bengals game. Like I said earlier, y'all, this should have been a blowout. There's no way that this game should have been as close as it was. The better team, the better everything. The Giants have nothing on that team that is better than the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing. Not even coaching. Not even the fans. You know what I'm saying? So that should have been a wrap, right? But you live and you learn, right? And it's good to learn, have learning experiences with a win. It feels a lot better and it's a lot more happier teaching and correcting the mistakes than it is when you all mad and grumpy after an L. Ha. But man, let's get started, man. One thing's for sure, y'all. When it comes down to that Dallas line, they're so good in space, y'all. All of them can move. All of them can move, y'all. Steele can move. Martin can move. Yo, center, which was cool. Yo, center was making some. Shout out to Tyler Biadasz. Yo, center was making some nice blocks. Peter's gonna be able to move. Tyler Smith, we all know he can move. Him coming down that true full speed. See, it's one thing to have your line pulled, right? But it's one thing when you got your line that can not only get to the second level, but get to the third level within the play and get a chunk of yards. It's you blocking good when Zeke gets a run to the perimeter and he ain't touched 10 yards. He ain't even touched, if not a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? That's sure dominance right there, y'all. Straight dominance. But, that's what it is, right? Let me tell y'all something, though, man. Cause I like to shout out the unsung heroes of the team, right? So, I want to shout out Quinton Bohannon. Quinton Bohannon has shown you since week 1 why he's a starter. What's going on, Teflon? He is showing you since week 1 why he should be the starter and why he does start. Quinton Bohannon, right? See, what's underrated about Quinton Bohannon is his ability to move. Quinton can move, y'all. So, see, that's one thing. That's one thing that made Ridgeway expendable. Because Ridgeway was a big boy. He was a space eater, but he couldn't move as well as Quinton Bohannon and Neville Gallimore. Quinton played a hell of a game, y'all. Quinton did a lot of good things laterally, chasing things down, playing square to the line, playing with shock in his hands. Quentin did a lot of good things, and he has been doing a lot of good things since week 1. Me, y'all can go back to the beginning of the time. I've been counting in Quentin Bohannon, especially off the film that I looked at when he first came. I've been knew that he can do this. And now he's making everybody look good by performing. Beautiful. This Quentin Bohannon is the nose that we've been missing in Dallas. Not only is he strong, he got good size on him, but he can move. So he doesn't necessarily go with the big, slow nose guard. He can move laterally. I've seen my man's chasing things down. That's what you want, especially the modern day nose tackle. That's what you want. Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, you see about Short earlier, man. We have to have a moment of silence for Evan Neal talking all that stuff. Hopped on my comments talking about it's going to be an epic game, talking about, Thibodeau and all them. And come on, man. It was 9 factors, man. You know, New York went to sleep real early last night. And made the excuse talking about they had to go to bed for work in the morning. Nah. Talk all that stuff. You want this for sure? I love beating on a division rival. I love beating on the division rivals. Washington is next. But going back to the offensive line, Farniak was definitely struggling with a little bit of that power. So making that move for Jason Peters to rotate him in definitely was right on time, y'all. It definitely was right on time. Like, that was perfect timing, you know. But I'm gonna tell you one thing that I'm impressed about. I'm using the word impressed, y'all. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I'm impressed about. I'm impressed with the ability of Noah Brown to be able to pluck the ball at his highest point. I'm impressed with that. I'm impressed with that, y'all. I am very impressed with that. Look, Noah to me has always been reliable, but the way he's playing, man, you know, he's stepping up when he needs to. Now, of course, Noah's going to fall back as soon as we start getting healthy, when Gallup come back, when Washington come back. Yeah, he going to fizzle out. But there's going to be some games where it's like, all right, Noah, you know, on this 3rd and 3, everybody down. Hey, Noah, we need you to get this 3.5, 4 yards. And Noah's going to do that. Noah has always done that. But for him to develop and to take more time to work on his craft as a wide receiver is paying dividends right now. He is definitely part of the reason why we are 2-1. Definitely. Grown-ass man like they kids. Grown-ass man like they kids. That whole offensive line, though, y'all, was doing that. But definitely, them two boys is what? Damn near 700 pounds. Damn near 700 pounds on one side. Just with them two boys. Boy, they're going to be a problem in the run game. You don't want to see that when it gets cold. You don't want to see that in November. One thing's for sure, when it first started getting cold, when I play, the hits a little bit, it started, you know, in the summer, it was all good and dandy, though. But when it get a little cold and your hands start getting a little freezing, and them hits hurt just a little bit sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just deep when them big old boys get ready to come downhill on you. When them defenses is tired. They got tired legs. Now you got to worry about them boys coming down on you continuously. It's gonna be a problem. Man, I'm loving the way this offensive line is balling, y'all. Yo, center blocking his ass off. Tyler Smith, he look. I wanted him at guard personally. I'm not gonna see. I'm gonna tell you, throwing him there at left tackle with the experience that he had, with the reps that he had, the low rep count that he had, that was a bold move. But it's a bold move that's indeed paying off. A bold move that is indeed paying off. Whoo! See, look, see everybody. And I'm gonna tell you one thing though about that. With Zeke, I disagree with Troy. Zeke made a statement in that game. Not Zeke, but Troy made a statement in the game about Zeke, talking about Zeke is not the thumper that he once was. And then, like the next play, he ended up giving somebody them pads on the sideline. You know, sometimes, man, I love Troy, but sometimes Troy needs to shut up. Sometimes Troy needs to shut up. You know what I mean? Troy, you gotta do the work. You gotta watch the film if you're gonna be doing all that. And I don't know what you see. Because Zeke, definitely when it's time to get it done, Zeke definitely gonna put them pads on you. Like I said, is Zeke who he was when he first got in the league? No. But one thing's for sure, Zeke still got it. Zeke's still one of the best, though. You know, you don't just wake up one day and all of a sudden can't put them pads on somebody. You don't wake up one day just not being physical no more. No. You may lost a step. You may have lost some burst. You know what I mean? You may have lost some athleticism, but physicality? Did Marshawn ever lose physicality? Does Derrick Henry ever lose physicality? Knock it off, Troy. Knock it off. Yeah, he do. He do. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Teflon. I agree. You know, there was some things that he said was like, huh? But you know, it's Troy, so we like it's whatever. We like it's whatever. Uh, One thing that I love that we knew was going to be a problem, that was a problem for New York, was Evan Neal on the edge. They took advantage of that boy being slow-footed the way he is. I believe I said, matter of fact, yes, I do have that when I was doing breakdowns of scouting for the offensive lineman. I didn't say Evan Neal was going to be a bum, and Evan Neal won't be a bum. But as far as just him being, right tackle was definitely the position for him. Because left for sure wasn't going to work out. But since him being that big, see he like a watered down Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown got a little bit more, he got a little bit more athleticism than that. But they took advantage of him being slow-footed. So Fowler, Lawrence, Michael Parsons had their way. They had constant pressure. He definitely struggled. That's a game that he gonna remember for the rest of his career. That's a game that he gonna remember for the rest of his career. Like Josh Ball, man. Like Josh Ball. Hold on, let me take this. Let me see what's going on. That's hella funny. Like Josh Ball. Oh my God. That's hella funny. But but I also, when I was watching this game, I also came to the conclusion that last year was definitely a identity starter. And what I mean by that is the identity that we are developing right now started last year. Such as, we wasn't running the ball last year the way that we should have, like we're doing now. But the thing about that is, right, special teams and defense is your playmakers, right? Them is where you're gonna get the explosive things from. Your offense right now is not in its explosive phase, but it's gonna get better. See, one thing's for sure, what we are in the makings of is to become a complete team. And Gallup and Dak, when Gallup and Dak come back, that's gonna help us become the complete team that we can be. That's why I say, go ahead and just go ahead and let Dak rest a few more games, man. Really come back as close to 100%, if not 100%, as possible, because this stretch is gonna be a must have. This is where we got to catch fire and get hot and finish strong. I'm not too concerned about the first half of the season. I just wanted to have a pretty decent record and then come through for the second half and really go out there and really eat and come in fire for the playoffs. Because if this team don't make it to the playoffs, oh my God, that's a travesty. Travesty. Facts. Facts. Like it's a joy to see your offensive line create a line of scrimmage damn near every play. They create a new line of scrimmage every play. They in the opposing field. They at least create a new line of scrimmage for a yard and a half, 2 yards every single play. All them fat holes. See, I disagree with Troy again when he was talking about if you take away the big runs of Tony Pollard and Zeke, they didn't really run the ball like that. I disagree with that again. Because we were pretty much getting positive yards. We're not gonna bust 5 to 10 yard runs every play. But for sure, we was getting positive yards, 2, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. That's what you want in the run game. And then you pop you some occasional big ones. So no, we definitely was running the ball. We still, when we commit to the running game, we still ain't been stopped. And I don't believe that we ever will be stopped. As long as we are healthy on the offensive line, they are not going to stop this. They are not going to stop this. Oh my gosh, I was going to get into that. Oh my gosh. That's actually was my next point. Hell of a game. He played good throughout, but especially the last 4 minutes when he was just constantly harassing Daniel Jones. And when I say constantly harassing him, touching him every single time. He thought he was being touched by Jesus out there, man, the way he was touching him, man. He said, lay your head on my pillow. hey, he was laying him down. Donovan Wilson, definitely, like I said last night, Donovan Wilson he had his best when he can come forward. And since J-Ron Curse has been out, he's been playing more of the J-Ron Curse, which we needed. And the cool thing about it is, right, that's why I wasn't big on being for overpaying for J-Ron Curse, because I knew that Dan Quinn, if he had to, could fill that position with a cheaper player or somebody on the roster. But I'm not saying that J-Ron Curse ain't needed, because J-Ron Curse is needed. But what I was saying was, just don't overdo it, though. Don't overspend. It's to bring him back because of the value. So, when J-Ron Curse come back, it's definitely going to be better. But right now, we seeing and doing what we're supposed to do. When one man goes out, the next man needs to step up. And that's exactly what we've been doing. When we sit over there and rotate, no matter who comes in for the rotation, there's no let off. There's no drop off. And that's great. No let off, no drop off. And that's exactly what you need. But I'm going to tell you what, though, especially this coming up week, if you want to complete your line at this point in time, the best man for the job is Jason Peters at left guard. That's the best man for the job. So if you want to complete your line and make it become one, you go ahead and get Dak and them, Jason Peters, full time. You give Tony Pollard and Zeke Jason Peters full time, and you're gonna see a lot more of them chunk runs. For sure. Yeah. So, you know, but but as we were saying before, man, when the conditions start getting uglier, when we got to go to, you know, Philly when it's ugly, when we got to go to Washington when I don't know where if he was playing home or away this week with Washington. I believe it's away. Is it away? I believe it is away. So that's what I like. I like to get them ugly away games early, like going to Green Bay. I like going to Green Bay and Chicago early. I don't want to go to them late, but we built for it tough. We built to play them cold weather games, you know? So that's one thing I ain't worried about. But one thing's for sure, Mr. Micah Parsons, yeah, he didn't have the numbers that we are accustomed to. But one thing's for sure, his presence was definitely felt. His presence was definitely felt. So, so one thing for sure. One play that stick out to me the most, man, was when he came. I believe was it a stunt? I believe it was it a stunt or was it just an inside rush? I think it was just an inside rush. He came inside, man, and man, I don't even think he was trying to, but dude was in the way, man. Caught him out the way, bing. That's a whole bunch of men coming at you, man. That's a whole bunch of force with that size coming at you, man. You know, them offensive linemen don't know what to do with man. Don't know what to do with them. And they'll never know what to do with them. You know, so that's just like I said, man. Micah, he just ramps everything up. And DeMarcus Lawrence was motivated, because DeMarcus Lawrence played a hell of a game as well. DeMarcus Lawrence did what he was supposed to, which was dominate. See, I would have been. See, look, if I didn't feel DeMarcus Lawrence's presence, I'd have definitely been concerned. Because one thing's for sure, Evan Neal was food. Andrew Thomas is a good player. But that right side, food. Food. Philly Notion said we would lose before the game. Then after the game, say we didn't. I'm about to get on him. I'm about to look at him. I'm about to look at him. I'm gonna check him out after this. See what that man said. Now, matter of fact, hold up. Let me see something. Let me see something. Cause I'll do it. Let me see. Let me look him up. Give me a second. You said Philly Notion. Let's see what he about. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. And then he got the round table. Oh Lord. Let's see what he about.
Hurt season.
Talking about hurt season. Boy, that boy clown. Boy, when you talk about hurt season, let me see where he at. He must have been. Hey, Teflon, when he said that last night, or he did a post, or he hopped on somebody else's stuff. Because I was going to dress him. I was going to tag him too. Because that's what we all waiting on. We waiting on that Philly game, man. We got to come ready and prepare to strap. We should have Kurtz back. We should have Schultz back. Who else? Gallup should be, in tune and ready to go. So we definitely should be ready. Let me see. I guess I can't see it. Let me see. He wasn't talking about nothing, I guess. I was ready to see if he was gonna
We really don't care who wins this game.
I was ready to see if he was gonna talk that mess. It was a live stream. Ah, okay. I was ready to crucify him, y'all. Hey, well, said we would lose again. Well, let me tell you. Well, let me send this message out to Philly Notion, and I will be tagging him in this. Look here, Philly Notion. Let me tell you something. The way that y'all made up is cool, right? You ain't played nobody. Come on, man. Lions, they improved team, but they ain't nobody, y'all. Minnesota, come on, man. Washington, come on, man. Let's just say that pretty much, man, y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. But you need to come see about a real team. Come on, man. They talk about Lamar Jackson as a running back. Come on, man. For real? Come on, man. Lamar Jackson, it's really Jalen Hurts. One thing's for sure, I ain't seen a quarterback like Jalen Hurts that's uncomfortable to be in the pocket. That man is uncomfortable being in the pocket. You uncomfortable being the quarterback. But let's put you on a run. You ready? You ready to go? Come on, man. See, one thing's for sure, man. What you need to do, Philly Notion, is put some respect on them Cowboys, man. Because one thing's for sure, man. In a couple weeks, man, you're gonna get your just due. Don't worry about that, man. You about to see a real team. See, let me tell you something, man. See, that's how I know you're not ready, man. Let me tell you why you're not ready. When you spend the first round pick on Jordan Poe, Jordan Davis, that just tell me everything I need to know about your organization, sir. So, and you seen that percentage? You see that percentage of Dallas Cowboys draft picks? Yeah, man, what you seen is a product of our drafting, which looks like it's something good. For years, and years, we done seen a product of your drafting, which has brought you to this point. You ready to go against your resources. You want to get your resources this week. That was your draft pick. That was your future. That's been passed around like food stamps. That's been passed around like the hood rat in the hood. You know what I mean? So one thing's for sure, man. We're gonna go ahead and let you think Jalen Hurts is the future, but remember one thing. This is the same quarterback that got benched for Tua so he could throw the game winner for them to win the championship because it wasn't going to be done for him. This is the same man that at Oklahoma wasn't ready for the occasion when it was time to go against LSU. This is the same man. The same man that once you make him a pocket passer, he going to look like Ryan Tannehill. That's all I got to say, babe. We're going to let them pads do the talking in a little bit. He said, 0-3. Now look at him. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. But that's just my little shout out to my little message to Philly Notion. I'm definitely gonna have to tag him in so he can know that I was talking about him, around the 26, 27 mark of this video. But back to business. Hey, one thing's for sure. Jake from State Farm, the rookie tight end, man. we ain't gonna. That's the future right there. He already has the knack of being available. You know what I mean by available? I don't know if y'all remember that, but I was like, he gonna be that one where he just gonna convert them short ones. He gonna be there and he gonna make a first and 10, second and 5. He gonna make a second and 9, second and 8, third and short, and all them matter, y'all. And his blocking, you definitely felt his blocking, especially on that goal line run. His blocking, I love how he's so willing as a blocker. One thing's for sure is we did feel the effects of not having Dalton Schultz as far as just going through rookie mistakes, though. But one thing's for sure, as far as production, as far as blocking, as far as using the tight ends, when we used that tight end by committee, we did not miss Dalton Schultz. Now, I'm not saying Dalton Schultz won't come handy in games like the Rams. But what I'm saying, yeah, we went against the Giants. They trash, but still, it was a good sight to see that at tight end, if we had to go by committee, we could still get it done. Because one thing's for sure is one thing that, regardless if it's Dalton Schultz or not, Ferguson is the one that's going to make it happen when it comes down to blocking in his run game when we go in 12 personnel. That's the one thing that's going to make it happen. Yeah, for sure. So I can roll with Hendershot, McKeon, and Ferguson. I can roll with that. You know what I'm saying? See, one thing for sure is the league is not tight end based. You get probably maybe about 5 of them as elite. Kittle, Kelsey, Waller, Andrews, Pitts. Them was the super tight ends. Like I always said, you could turn a big wide receiver into a tight end. If you wanted to put some, what's that Texas Tech receiver that we cut, man? That's like 6'5", 6. Damn, I can't think of his name. But if you wanted to beef him up and make him a tight end, you can. If you really wanted to make Simi Fehoko a tight end, you could. So, tight end is nothing that you have to worry about unless you get once of them. Unless you get one of them once in a lifetime tight ends on what's like a Kelsey type thing, like an Ertz or something like that. Man, you don't need to spend nothing high on no tight end because you've been seeing what's been going on at the high draft picks at tight end. You see that you could occasionally get an Njoku, Ebron. So it ain't always guaranteed, and then we ain't gonna act like, at times in the games where some of them tight ends that not named Kelsey be having games or it'd be like 2-catch games. Man, we got Ferguson can get 2-catch games. We got Hendershot can get us a 2-catch game. Man, if I got a first round pick at tight end, I want to see that man take over games. I want to see that man, have a game like my number one wide receiver because I'm treating you like a number one or number 2 wide receiver. If I'm drafting you in the first round, I'm not drafting you to pay 70% of the snaps. I'm not drafting you to be a blocking tight end. I'm drafting you to be a playmaker. So that's why I say it's unnecessary to even spend a high draft pick around a tight end unless you can't miss. hey, Lawrence and Parsons was like, hey, how you doing, Evan Neal? Let me whisper in your ear. Tell you something that you might like to hear. You should have stayed your ass home. You should have stayed your ass home. It was going to be a long day, boy. I don't know why you decided to show up. But one thing for sure, we going to embarrass you, boy. You see, we had a moment of silence for you. We didn't have a moment of silence for you. But we didn't abuse you. We done gave you mental and physical abuse. You gonna remember this like you gonna remember the Titans. Got you crying in the car like Bobby Miles. I ain't gonna play no football no more. I cannot play no football no more. Got you in the car crying. Talking about put the loss on the offensive line. No, he need to put the loss on you. Yeah. He put that loss on his bum tail. Hey, that boy, abused him. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You don't see Tyler Smith getting abused like that. So I don't want to hear about no rookie tackle. Hey, you playing right tackle. Man, stop it. Stop it. One thing's for sure, other than Andrew Thomas, man, Giants been sucking at drafting offensive linemen. Damn near the Eagles too, especially them tackles. Man, after Lane Johnson, didn't they whiff on like 2 left tackles already? Lane Johnson probably should have been your left tackle. You got your best possible answer at right tackle, playing right tackle. Ain't that something? Ain't Jalen Hurts a right-handed quarterback? Huh. Huh. You know, I looked at I keep seeing this question. And people, as far as the CD a number 1 wide receiver? Huh. You don't know my answer. But now we're starting to get people to realize. But one thing for sure that I did see, that I came across, that I have to agree with, even though West Coast has came to see the light in the dark, one thing's for sure on what I gotta say is that when he said, he made a statement talking about all the 88s had to go through some type of adversity. They had to go find their own way. I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, you know what? He was right. So whatever CD going through, CD just trying to find his own way. I'm gonna tell you what though. If you didn't believe in CD to be the guy, that drive to go up 2013 when CD took over, that 4th down conversion, that touchdown catch, I think he had like 3-4 catches on that drive. That's an 88 drive right there. That's an 88 drive right there. That's what you want your 88s doing. You want them making plays when it count. Now, will I forgive him for that drop ball that he had? No. It's going to take a lot more for me to forgive him. Because what we seen on that drive was something that we expected, something that we knew that he can do. So he going to have to go out there probably against Philly or probably against Ramsey and really do his thing, and then I'll forgive him. If he can do his thing against Ramsey and Philly, and I mean embarrass them, I'll forgive him for that drop. But until then, I'm holding a grudge on that drop. I'm holding a grudge on that drop. But also, man, when it come down to them D tackles, right? I don't know if y'all remember, but I said I wouldn't put it past that if you had to use somebody as trade bait, why not Gallimore? And out of all your D tackles, Gallimore is playing the least effective. I'm not saying he's been playing like ish. I'm just saying he's been the least effective. But that's not really downplaying him though. But as y'all know, maybe it's just the Oklahoma connection, but I really do expect more from Neville Gallimore. I really do. Because he got more in him. Also balling. And I'm talking about your 3-techs right now. As a 3-tech, also balling. When you put your DNs at 3-tech, they balling. Tristan Hill, he's showing up. And the cool thing about it is we always think of Tristan Hill coming up field, but Tristan Hill is doing excellent in the run game as well. I'm seeing Tristan Hill stack blocks. I'm seeing Tristan Hill doing what he does best, which is fly and chase after that ball. That's one thing for sure. Tristan Hill had a motor. Tristan Hill done went through some things in college though, but maybe he just had to find his way. He didn't deal with some injuries. He didn't dealt with, not having the time to be able to shine. But right now, what's best for Tristan Hill is the position that he's in right now. And you're starting to see, what Tristan Hill really can do. And I'm telling you right now, again, against Washington and especially against the Rams, Tristan Hill gonna need you. Gonna need you to get upfield. Gonna need you to get upfield. So that's one thing. Um, and also for a change, right? Y'all remember how our linebackers, man, used to always have something on them. They couldn't run clean. Now all you see is your linebackers running clean, being able to run sideline to sideline. And Leighton saw fast. We need Leighton to run clean. Because unclean Leighton, a unclean a unclean Leighton, that's not a good sight. That's not a good sight. So it's good to see, and Leighton had a pretty solid game. I'm still look, you just gotta accept Leighton for what he is. Leighton, he's he's a big linebacker who physicality is not him. He's a sideline to sideline linebacker. He a linebacker that can drop and that can use his length, in passing lanes. That's Leighton. Expecting Leighton to come forward, we're asking too much. I'm not saying that he can't come up to make tackles and things, but as far as him being physical, taking on blocks with shock, that's asking too much of Leighton. That's just not who he is. So we just got to be more accepting of who Leighton really is. Oh, man. That drop off of Wentz. Man. And Wentz was running for his life too. Shoot. Wentz is in a similar situation that Daniel Jones is in. That's why Daniel Jones got to get the ball out quick, and Wentz gonna have to get the ball out quick. But one thing Wentz got that Daniel Jones don't have is weapons. So that's why it's really no excuse for Carson Wentz. Wentz has Scary Terry. Wentz has Samuel. Wentz has Logan Thomas. Wentz has Gibson. Them is all decent weapons, So him not getting it done in Washington is unacceptable. Just like him not getting it done with the Colts was unacceptable. You had run game support. You had offensive line support. And you couldn't get it done. Yeah, you didn't have the weapons that Washington has provided you, but still you should have got it done, though. You talk, hey, these boys, you talking about in Philly? It wasn't Wentz? Are you talking about with Washington? Because I have to say this, regardless if you're talking about Washington, Philly, if for sure was Wentz. No, you talking about Washington? I mean, does he have an offensive line? No. But yeah, part of that was coaching, but part of that was Carson Wentz too. One thing's for sure, my observation, he's very loose with the football in the pocket. There's no way that the ball should be popping out the way that it does in the pocket. His ball security sucks. Like he has come on, man, tuck that ball in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand, that you ain't blessed with an offensive line, but you blessed with some weapons that could get open quick. You got big body weapons. There's no, so Wentz has definitely been equipped with something. Yeah, his offensive line, it ain't the best, but shoot. I mean, how many top offensive lines? I mean, there ain't that many top offensive lines. Tom Brady, he's banged up on offensive line. He ain't got his left tackle. He ain't got the guard. Tristan Wirfs is banged up. His center is out. But Tom Brady, he still gets the ball out quick. That's one thing Wentz gonna have to do is get the ball out quick until they find some solutions on that offensive line. Same thing that you see, with Cooper Rush. They thought our offensive line was trash because we ain't had no names and we ain't had no Pro Bowlers like that other than Zach Martin, especially with Tyler uh, Tyron Smith going down. But the thing about it is, we came on one accord, start playing together as a unit, and adopted the mentality of being physical. And we was able, and now we playing together. What you know, um, could we have Pro Bowlers on the offensive line this year? Possibility if they keep playing the way that they playing now. But even if we don't, one thing's for sure: if you play like a unit, you play with that mentality, you can have a pretty decent offensive line regarding on talent, because you don't necessarily need 3-4 Pro Bowlers just to be able to field a good offensive line. And one thing's for sure, but Dallas, it's like historically, like especially like the past few years, Dallas and left guard is not mixing. It's always something going on with that left guard that we got to figure out. Something with that left guard, man. but but one thing's for sure, man. Even though it's patchwork of what we doing with the left guard, I believe that you do have your answer. I believe that even though Tyler Smith, I say if let's go ball next year, then you're gonna have to throw Tyler Smith in that guard if he balls. But if he's better at tackle and you find a better solution at guard, then trade let's go, because let's go is a left tackle. I don't, you know what I mean? To me, let's go is David Bakhtiari. Every time I see him, it's David Bakhtiari come to my mind. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't disagree with that. I definitely can't disagree with some of the drop passes. Yeah, but still, you still got to make a play though. They brought you in to be a playmaker. So sometimes you got to take it upon yourself to do it. Just like with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was getting beat up last night, but Daniel Jones still tried to find a way to keep them in the game though. He was making drop that dime on his back foot, on the sideline. That was a hell of a pass, So, yeah, sometimes your receivers let you down, but sometimes a quarterback just gonna have to take initiative to make a play. Just like with Russell Wilson on Sunday night. Russell Wilson, you could say that he had a terrible game, but when it mattered most, when it was time to get that drive to go up for that touchdown, he made it happen. And that's what Carson Wentz is going to have to learn how to do if they're going to do anything in Washington. Yes, sir, Jay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But one thing I didn't like though, I'm gonna tell you one thing that stood out that I didn't like, really didn't like, was that Saquon TD. I hated that he got that. One, they missed the tackle. I believe it was Anthony Barr that missed the tackle. I mean, if he makes that tackle or at least holds on to him, he doesn't get that, and they probably don't even score 7. But I had to give him credit. They blocked that pretty well. Everybody had a hat on something, so that was blocked well. But still, why are you letting bums block you? There's just something about letting the bum block me. I don't know how others people play, but when I played, one thing's for sure, I definitely took pride. If I went against that bum, man, I took pride in whipping that bum the whole game. Yeah, yeah. But one thing about CD though with Jay, it occurs too often. It's been occurring too often. That's the thing. The occasional hit your pad, all right, it's concentration job, but it's been a consistent thing. We don't want it to be a consistent thing. We want it to be an inconsistent thing, because when it's an inconsistent thing, it just is what it is. Like, all right, human error, you took your eyes off of it, or you just didn't catch it. So if he can make it an inconsistent thing and make it an occasional thing to know, then all right, do I expect him to be Brandon Lloyd or Fitzgerald? No. But do I expect him to make plays and catch what need to be caught? Yes. And that play that hit him in his hands, that Cooper Rush dropped that dime on, he had to make that play, y'all. He had to. He had to. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta give him credit though, even with the missed tackle, though, that was a good block. That was a good block. They blocked that up pretty well. So I got to give them credit on that. That's probably the only thing. That's the only thing that the Giants did well was block that play. Yeah. Yeah. I I believe, from what it looked like, sometimes he just ain't looking them in. And then sometimes he's thinking about the catch after. I don't think it's not because it's a lack of hands, because we evidently we see that it ain't a lack of hands. But I think one thing for sure is just that it's them concentration drops. Like T.O. had. T.O. had them concentration drops. Sometimes Amari had them concentration drops. But one thing for sure, when it was time to make a play, the boys made a play. And, Brandon Marshall, even though he had some sticky, he dropped a lot too. But Brandon Marshall, when it was time for him to make a play, Brandon Marshall was gonna do his thing. So, it's just one of them things, man. Hey, he out there hitting that Kamehameha, man. Yeah, man. That was a hell of a drive. And that was a much needed drive as well. That was a much needed drive, y'all. Very much needed drive, you know? But like I said, man, we should have put up 40 on them. We definitely should have put up 40 on them. But, you know, I can't complain. Cause when we look back at the end of the year, we ain't gonna really pay. We ain't gonna remember the score. We gonna remember if we won or not. And that's the only thing that matters is winning. I don't care if it's 1 point or 50. Did you win? And the answer to that question yesterday was yes. Yeah, D Law for sure was on fire. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you what, that did a lot for his confidence. That did a lot for his confidence. Uh, that definitely did a lot for his confidence. Because one thing for sure, D Law, he talk a good game, but you could tell when that confidence factor ain't there. You could tell when it ain't there, and it ain't because of it's a lack of ability. It's a lack that he probably listened to the outside noise too much. Oh, you not getting sacks. You not who you used to be. So I believe. See, D Law. Look, I ain't saying that he emotional, but he a little sensitive to. You know what I'm saying? It's all good and dandy though, but he be a little sensitive with comments like that. But he did his thing. He showed up and showed out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit. The day they had Tuck, OCU Manura, and Strahan and Pierce, and yeah, that's done with. You know, that's done with. So, you know, it's gonna be a while for the Giants really make some noise, man. And to be honest with you, if a Giant fan listening, I don't think Daniel Jones is your problem. I think you actually should bring Daniel Jones back, but you need to get that. See, I believe in Daniel. I think he's actually a decent quarterback. You know, but you will never really get to know the full him because they don't never put no weapons on him, and they'll never put no full offensive line on him that's decent that can get it done. It's like they always get them passwords, like that one dude, man. Hernandez, man, like, man, he sucked. He sucked. Slow footed, physical, and nasty, but that's all he got. That's all he had. He like, I'll take Richie Incognito over him. And I'm talking about when he owed Richie Incognito. That's a good question, Lo. That's a good question. Because one thing's for sure, man. We suck at everything else. But one thing for sure, we're gonna draft well, and we're gonna find them players for the cheap. We're gonna find them for the low. They're gonna be like, You know what I'm saying? It's like in the hood when you try to get that 2 for 10. You know, hey, can I get the Malik Hooker and the curse? Come on, man. Give me $5 off, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know I'll come back. Come on, man. You know it's me. Go ahead, let me get that $5 off. Let me get that Malik. Let me get that curse, man. Come on, man. You know I'm good for it. You know I'm good for it. You know, that's the type of free agents that does look. Because one thing's for sure, Henry Melton, Henry Melton put a stain on them. Henry Melton put fear in their heart when it came down to free agents. Oh, Turpin Fashion and Hill, huh? Oh, yeah, he was though. He was. Hey, when he got that punt, I thought that was crib. As soon as he caught it, I'm like, man, this is crib. He got down on that side. I'm like, oh, it's about to be crib. And I'm like, they just got him. But yeah, he for sure a mover though. He for sure a mover. He been doing that too. I definitely would love to see that. Them both of them at top, either at top speed or them racing. They need to set that up. They need to set that race up. Yeah, that's one thing for sure. That's one thing for sure that is underrated and not talked about enough. And that's exactly why Dallas brings him back. And Dallas would not lose him because he is a hell of a scouter. You know, he see things that the average don't. You know, when I seen Tyler Smith, to be honest with you, on my first eye, I said he's a better guard than tackle. And if that's still true, god damn, just think what he gonna be at guard. But to me, I always said kind of like that Larry Allen, that he'll be a hell of a guard. And if you needed him to fill in that tackle, he could play tackle. But if y'all just see him as the answer to tackle right now, then just so be it. You know, what's up, Tyron? You willing to kind of be in the Jason Peters role, man, at guard or something like that? What's up, Tyron? You know, I love Tyron, man. But Tyron, man, he just always hurt, man. It just ain't gonna work. You know, we can't put in all our eggs in that one basket. See, one thing for sure, which is sad to say, when it comes down to Tyron Smith, we like, all right, how many games is Tyron Smith gonna miss this year? And you shouldn't have to think like that for a player, y'all. You know, he kind of like that Byron Westbrook from the Eagles. He Darren Sproles, Eckler. You know, how many games are you gonna miss this year? You know? Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. You know, so I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. The cold thing about it is, even though I already see what the solution is gonna be, right? So, say for instance, if Tyron Smith does come back, right, to have him at swing tackle, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, if we can get him back at swing tackle, I'll definitely take that. To have him, Peters, come on, man. Peters can go at left if you needed to. Tyler Smith at left if you needed to. Tyron Smith can go at left if you needed to. And then you got McGovern, Peters, and Tyler Smith as a guard. You got a whole bunch of combinations for that left guard, which is beautiful. And if something ever happened, say for instance, if someone was, God forbid, it happened to Steele, right? You could put Peters at right tackle. You can put Tyron Smith at left and put Tyler Smith back at guard. So you have a plethora of combinations to attack this offensive line. And to be honest with you, when it comes down to just the versatility of the lineman that you had, because even Zach Martin can pop out to any other positions. So when you have that versatility, you could be able to withstand a lot. So I get Flozell Adams vibe with him at tackle. Hell of a player. But he gonna get them occasional penalties. That Flozell Adams. But y'all, to be honest with you, right? Let's look at it. Let's look at your team. A true weakness. Where is a true weakness at? Because I don't see one. D lineman, that's a strength. Linebacker, if you know what I'm saying, that's a strength because you got Micah and them, and then you got depth coming. That's going, you know what I mean? That's pretty solid. Corners, you get solid. But one thing, if anything was to happen to Anthony Brown or Diggs, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? So let's hope for the best on that. Let's hope for the best on that. Safety, you're deep. That means Kelvin Joseph will really have to step up. You know what I'm saying? But let's hope for the best. At offensive line, you pretty much straight at every position. Yeah, you don't have a top three at the spot in every position other than Zach Martin. But one thing for sure is you got a good offensive line. You got good running backs. When Gallup come back, when James Washington come back, you got good receivers. When Dak come back, you have a top 10 quarterback. We was also iffy on Meyer. He's cooking good. Your punter is good. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. If we put it all together and continue to play the way we've been playing, but improving and continue to try to achieve excellence, especially when Dak come back, we still a run first team with Dak come back. If we don't make the goddamn Super Bowl, man, I don't know what the hell to say. I'm trying not to say jinx it, but I just find it hard to believe how a team like this can't make it all the way, especially with the NFC being so weak this year. Come on. Yep, tight ends. You got Schultz, Ferguson. So I just find it like, if you really look at it, right? Yeah, you didn't have elite talent at wide receiver though, but your team wasn't complete like it was though. You had holes though. You got the coaching. Make sure Kellen Moore, you know what I'm saying? Let's have less of them 31s that he had and trying to pass on 31 where you done ran the ball twice to get to 31. Run it again. You know what I'm saying? Quit trying to outsmart thinking, oh, I'm out. No. Football is very plain and simple. Look, man, I done ran the ball twice on 31. Let me run it again. If I don't get it, I'm gonna run it again. Well, how hard is that as a play caller? You be trying to do all this outthink. Let me outthink them. You want to do all this Seahawks at the goal line type of thing. You know what I'm saying? You want to pass the ball when you got Marshawn Lynch there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they was built for that though. But you been going against 8-9 man fronts against Marshawn Lynch, and you still been running the ball because you got beast mode back there. You got Mr. Town Bennett back there. So why not have Mr. Town Bennett give him the business? It's the same thing with Dallas. Man, you out there dominating on the offensive line. Your offensive line is creating a new line of scrimmage damn near on every run play. And you got Mr. Ezekiel Elliott back there. Why are you throwing it on 3rd and 1? I hope that ain't going to be the case, man, this year. And we doubt, like, why the hell are you throwing it when we are so dominant in the run game? That's going to really frustrate me. No, thanks. So that's my thing, y'all. But one thing's for sure. One thing's for sure. They're gonna be scared to bet against the Dallas Cowboys this year. They was talking all that stuff, but they ain't want to see that bet though. Come on, man. Come on, man. if any one of these YouTubers, man, when they coming out to their teams, man, want to bet when we see them, man, if it makes sense, I'm taking it, man. I'm taking it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's crazy. That's crazy. But man, we built though. We built for success, y'all. Like I've always said in the past, though, right? The people that can stop the Dallas Cowboys is the Dallas Cowboys. Because when you can run at will, and it ain't like you ain't win against a couple good teams. You win against the Tampa defense, the Bengals defense, and a Giants team that knows you and that knows that you need to run the ball to have success, and they still couldn't stop it. Now, I would love to see how we run the ball against Washington with them boys up front. Well, Allen, them Bama boys, I definitely want to see that. I definitely want to see that. I'm definitely intrigued to see that. Can we run the ball? Yes, we can run the ball. But it ain't gonna like, you know. See one thing's for sure, man. Tyler, I'm gonna tell you why Tyler Biadasz. Not only has he been playing good, and he's been going against powerful noses. He went against Vita Vea, Reader, Ellis, Dexter Lawrence. He went against these big boys, these big, strong boys. And that's one thing that we said that he needed to correct. And like I said, all he needed to do was fill out in the weight room. And what do you know? He filled it out, became a consistent player. Yes, damn near a month in, but I told y'all, man, before the season started, you're going to know about your center the first 2 games. And your center has done nothing but show that he can play ball. Now, you got to go against some beasts now. You got to go against the Bama boys twice. You got to go against probably Leonard Williams when he come back. You got to go against Aaron Donald, Ashawn Robinson. You got to go against even though he a shell of himself, Fletcher Cox, right? You got to go against these guys, man. These big nose guards, man. And when Peter's there to help assist him, that's going to be nice. When Peter's there and Zach Martin there is to give him a rib shot help against them, they don't want that. They don't want that. The way he making his blocks, he one thing's for sure. He ain't one of them. He ain't Tyler Smith when it comes down to run blocking, but he for sure, not only he gets off the ball, uses his hand, but he uses good technique. And that good technique with a good get off, man, come on, man. Come on, man. It's hard to beat good technique. So one thing's for sure, man. I'm glad that it worked out because if we didn't have our center playing the way that he played, see, the center is what's helping making this go. And if we had to try to hope that McGovern or Farniak or Lindstrom was going to try to be the center, they would have been in deep trouble. So as long as he continue to keep building and keep balling, sometimes he may get beat. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you can't beat. It ain't like he gonna play perfect. But one thing's for sure, yeah, he doing his damn thing, man. He doing the damn thing. Yes. He doing the damn thing. So I believe Peters should be a fill-in starter this week to go against to combat that strong Bama boys up front. Because we know Farniak was gonna get toasted. I mean, that was just inevitable. He ain't gonna be able to hold on Allen or Pay, man. We just knew that's gonna be inevitable. But to have Peters sandwich the center in with Zach Martin, you got two Hall of Famers sandwiching your center, 2 strong Hall of Famers to help your center out when he needs help. Come on, man. Come on, man. You said Diggs? Nah, Diggs, hey, Diggs, I'm gonna need 50 push-ups from Diggs. Because that one he drove on the ball, man, he should have had 2 picks that game. But he did made a hell of a catch to even out though. But he should have had 2 picks, man. Diggs got some making up to do if he gonna catch what he did last year. But Diggs is balling though. All that junk that they keep talking about him. Talking about he that's like I said, talking about when Jamar Chase talking about he lacks technique and he can't do this and do that. Well, what did you do against Diggs? He's a gambler. He lacks technique wise. So why didn't you go off? Why is we clamping these wide receivers? Why? If his technique is so bad. Come on. So Diggs for sure. Diggs can mess around and get 2 picks this Sunday. Short week. So short turnaround week. You got to watch the film, and then you got to get ready to you got to get ready to intake and see and I got to get my mind right because I don't know why I was thinking today was Monday, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, I'm breaking down. I'm like, oh, we got a short week. So I got to get ready to break Washington down in the next day or two. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a good evaluation roster. But I know for sure when I think he just goes. Like because I think what helps him get confidence though is Hooker. Having Hooker back there, having good safety play back there gives him confidence. He's like, all right, so if I don't take this chance, it's just going to be a quick little 20, 25-yard chunk, but we can get that back and hold down the 3. So I think he calculates that in his head. Like, all right, is this the time to take the risk, or do I need to fall back and play more conservative and be more technique sound to be able to, make sure that we don't give him no points just drive? And then it gets to like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of risky. I see him trying to keep going my way. I see him. He keep running this route. Hey, Malik, look, I'm about to drive on this ball. So I'm gonna need you to cheat over just a little bit so I can be able to. So you got me right, Malik. And Malik, like, yeah, I got you, man. Do your thing, and that's what gives him the confidence to drive. Yeah. One thing's for sure though. I mean, Diggs gonna have his handful though. Diggs and Curtis, you know what I mean, with Scary Terry, to be honest with you, probably the best route runner that he's gonna see is Scary Terry that he's seen thus far. Jamar Chase could talk all that he wants to, but I believe Scary Terry is a better route runner. So if anything is going to be exposing anything that he would do technically sound would be Scary Terry. And we already know what he can do against Scary Terry. We already done seen it. So yeah, facts. That's what it come down to, Lo. That's what it come down to. Dan Quinn. So one thing's for sure, we know that Dan Quinn going to adjust. We know Dan Quinn is going to, put his players in a position to win, to succeed. Dan Quinn looked at what I seen. Dan Quinn know that, it's impossible for this man to have longer step drops, that he going to have to shorten it up. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to take a similar approach to what we did against the Giants. But one thing that Washington don't have that the Giants have was Andrew Thomas. Maybe a tad bit better interior players, but one thing's for sure is what they don't have is Andrew Thomas. So, I mean, to be honest with you, we talk about all this Sean Payton stuff, though, right? But the contract extension tells me it's Dan Quinn. Jerry Jones, no. And I'm not mad at Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, no, good and well, we can't lose Dan Quinn. This team has too much of Dan Quinn on us. This team will hurt so much if Dan Quinn was to leave to go find a head coach job. I think Jerry told him, no matter what is going to happen this year, we do expect good things. But one thing's for sure, Dan Quinn, we don't want to lose you. So Dan Quinn, how is it? How does it feel to be named the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys for the 2023-2024 season. That's why he gave him that extension. Come on, man. I seen the writing on the wall, man. We see what it is, man. Mike McCarthy ain't coming back. We know that. He ain't coming back. You know, it ain't nothing against Mike. Mike has definitely had his imprint on what we got going on. But when it comes down to long term, we know Dan Quinn goes to the Super Bowl wherever he's at, whether it would be with Seattle or Atlanta, whether he won it or lost it. We know Dan Quinn is one of the best defensive coordinators to ever do it. We know Dan Quinn gets results everywhere he go. And for the sorry-ass defenses that Dallas has filled in the past 10 years, and for him to come in his first year and just have so much of an improvement tells me everything I know. Also, I'm here to tell you that Falso needs to make sure that he's here. Falso, because Falso is a hell of a special teams coach. You see the difference with Falso. With Bones is, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it's like when you on special teams, it's like not only is it an extension of the defense, but it's offense too. You could take it to the crib. You could take a return to the crib. You could take a punt block or a field goal block to the crib. You know, you can recover the special teams, you know. So one thing's for sure, Falso is definitely has a hand on having success with this team as well. Yeah. Hey, look, I've been peeping at those, especially when I be doing my self-care days, man. I be having that 105.3 The Fan on. I be listening. He out here talking about some black coffee and out here getting. I'm like, look at Mike getting hella comfortable and stuff. You know, Mike, he was hella uptight at first. You know what I mean? Now Mike won't laugh. Mike was out there doing boxing. You know, out here losing weight. Mike out here telling him, nah, I don't like sugar in my coffee. No, we ain't putting no sweet and low in my coffee. I like my coffee black. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree, Jay. I agree, Jay. I agree, Jay. So, you know, it's a lot that's gonna happen, you know. So, and I know Dan Quinn would not only be able to keep that defense together for the most part, because you know we got some guys that's gonna leave and be able that you can come back. And but one thing for sure that I don't know what he can do is keep a lot of their coaching staff. And one thing for sure that I know Dan Quinn's gonna do, Kellen Moore, bye-bye. Because one thing I know, Dan Quinn knows that he needs somebody like him on the offensive end, like he is on defense. I wouldn't be surprised because one thing's for sure, I wouldn't be surprised if he brought Shanahan back. I wouldn't be surprised if he brought Shanahan back from the Niners. Because one thing we know, Shanahan is really not a good a head coach. But when it comes down to him calling them plays, he can do that. I believe he'll learn his lesson. I believe that he will get over the hump in Dallas. I want y'all to come back to this live if that happens. And give me 3 up top. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing's for sure, I know he's going to want to find him an offensive-minded coach that's really going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, all that, you know, we can protect Kellen Moore. You know, people going to talk about, oh, Kellen Moore has called a wonderful game now. Kellen Moore is calling plays that we all can call, y'all. We know that we need to be in 12 personnel. We know we need to be having 3 tight ends. We know Tony Pollard and Zeke need to be on the field. We know we need to run the ball at least 60-40, 65-35. especially with Dak is out. It's not no mystery, y'all. It ain't nothing that he's just doing spectacular. It ain't nothing that he's just doing spectacular. We know we need to get it done. So get it done. You know, you don't need no. See, Linehan can do this. Scott Linehan can call these. Shit, Scott Linehan probably be doing. Scott Linehan probably would have ran the ball on 31. I don't know why Mike McCarthy didn't, when he heard that play call in his headset, tell that bit, hell no. Audible out of that, we going to run. Come on, man, run up the gut. Run it behind. You know when it's time to get that money down. We know we running behind Steele and Zach Martin. We know that. So you could have did the same thing for that. But one thing's for sure that you're going to be able to switch up. And because, on the money downs, when it's time to get that conversion, we know we run on the right side. But when Peters is there, we know now we can switch it up and run on that left side. That's dangerous, man, to be able to pick a side and you don't know what's coming. You can't load up to one side because you think they about to run because of a tendency. Come on, man. Come on. Beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah, man. It's one thing, man. Like I said, man, everything is up and up. You know what I'm saying? Upbeat when we get this win. But I appreciate y'all for coming through. Get ready to get up out of here, babe. Get some reading in, y'all. Do some chillaxing. I'll probably I got another video coming in. I got to do my review. So look out for that coming pretty soon today, maybe about an hour or two. But appreciate y'all for joining in, man, chopping it up with me. And till next time, y'all, we up out of here.